is that it would not be limiting instruction after limiting instruction after limiting.
Joining us now is trial attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, thank you so much for standing by. So we've been dipping in and out of this hearing. You've been watching it. What are your major takeaways at this hour?
In Georgia.
Hey, Kelly, nice to be back with you. I think the prosecutor's making a great point, and that is under the RICO statute, you're allowed to consider all of the evidence to prove multi-conspiracies that lead to a single purpose. That's really the thrust of what he's arguing. And that is a profound argument. And unfortunately for these two defendants, Chesbrough and Powell, I'll make a prediction for you in your show. I think this judge is going to deny the request to sever these two defendants. And one of the big reasons why, as you just heard the lawyer arguing, is there are things you can do, Kelly, at the end of the trial through jury instructions to ferret out any undue prejudice that might result to one defendant because of deleterious evidence that's attributed to another defendant. You can give instructions to the jury to say, for example, you can't consider evidence of this crime against this defendant. And that's another powerful argument. So I think at the end of the day, you're going to see the judge denying this motion. But real quick, that still leads to a bigger issue. What if the judge denies this? These two defendants want a speedy trial. What if the other 17 defendants don't want a speedy trial, and they won't? Then these two are going to have to go to trial first anyway before former President Trump goes to trial.
And how will that impact potentially the president's case?
I think dramatically. First of all, I think it's going to push back former President Trump's trial date to beyond the election, right? So if this judge has to honor, just to be clear, this judge has to honor a constitutional request for speedy trial. That's different than the severance. I think he's going to argue no severance, but he's going to have to then set a trial date. And that trial date might be, 3-4 months down the road within 120 days. And then you're going to have, a trial going on there. That's going to push you into next year. I just don't think Trump gets to trial then before the election. And then number two, another massive effect on Trump's defense and other defendants is they are going to get a preview of the evidence. That's why I'm not sure why the prosecutor is doing this. Why the prosecutor is going to need to eliminate these two defendants either through a plea deal or dismissing the charges.
Well, Brian Claypool, we always appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much for joining us.